Please read the following in chapter study unit 8. Let's look at exercise 8.1. In 8.1, the bank reconciliation statement for June 2000 and the CRJ, CPJ and bank account and bank statement of Benson Traders for July 2000 reflect the following. In this example, the ticks have already been made, and when you have to prepare your own bank reconciliation, you have to do the ticks yourself. So please ignore what you see right now, as this is a completed example, just to give you an understanding. This is the bank reconciliation statement as at 30th June 2000. If you have a look at the bank reconciliation statement, you'll find that favorable balance per bank statement, that is 11,350. So this is, when you look at the bank statement and the bank reconciliation statement, the debits and credits are switched the other way around, meaning that credits is now a favorable bank and debit is decreasing the bank account. Credit will increase the bank account on the credit side, and debits is going to decrease this bank account. These are all the checks or all the payments that are supposed to have been made in the bank statement for June, but they were not processed or made in the bank statement, so they are carried over to the next month, as this is the 30th June 2000. Now we are in the month of July, so these are the outstanding deposits and the outstanding payments. The favorable bank balance per the bank account is 12,800. This is the positive. This is actually reflected in the bank ledger account. So this means that 12,800 is on the debit side, meaning that it is a positive figure on the debit side. And as we know, the bank is treated as a bank account is treated as an asset in the ledger accounts. So that is why this debit is a positive balance. Let's look at the cash receipts journal for July 2000. This is the bank column only. Here we see that there are 3 transactions for July in the CRJ, and you have to ignore the italics, which is 850 and 80, because these are the entered amounts after we have ticked the corresponding cash receipts journal with the bank account, bank statement of July. So once we do the ticking and the checking of the amounts, we have to then find out which is the amount that's outstanding. Here we see 1,800 is outstanding. Let's have a look at the cash receipts journal first, then we'll go to the cash payments journal. The cash receipts journal, here we see that 6,700 is on the date of 15th, and that's a cash sale. So we note that the bank statement from Real Bank Limited is your credits are your CRJ and your debits are which affect your CPJ. So credits will be all the income that's coming into the bank and increasing the bank account, whereas your debits are leaving your bank account and decreasing the totals. The reason for that is because the Real Bank is a business, and they treat our money coming from Benson Traders as a liability. So that is why it is the opposite way around. And this is their statement that the Real Bank is giving to Benson Traders. So that is why it is reflected the other way around. And you can see that here we see 6,700. We have to now tick this off and tick 6,700 in the cash receipts journal. We then look at the next figure is 3,300. Here we see in the bank statement 3,300, and we've got to tick that off as well. We then look for 1,800, and we do not see 1,800 here in the bank statement, so we leave that unticked. We then have a look at the deposit not yet credited, and this was deposited on the 1st of July. So what this means is that this amount was reflected in the CRJ for the previous month, that means June CRJ, but it was not received in the bank account. But we look at July's bank statement and we see that 2,000 has been deposited in the bank statement and it is now reflecting there. So that is why we tick that off. So we also see that 80 and 850 is not reflected in the CRJ. So we know that we have to enter these amounts, 80 Rand and 850 Rand, in the CRJ. We now look at the CPJ. We look at for July, and this is the bank column only in the CPJ, 900, 2,500, 1,200, 200, 450, and 450 is now reflecting in the debit side of the bank statement for Real Bank. We can see the amounts reflected here: 2,500, 900, 450, 450, and we can see that it is the check numbers are corresponding with 900 as being check 14, 900 Rand, and we can see it is document number 14, which means check number 14. Check 15 is 2,500 Rand. 2,500 Rand, check 15. You've got to make the tick over there, just like how the tick for the 900 is. We then see 1,200 is check number 16, and the date is 9th. We then see check number 16 and 1,200. We have to tick that off as well. 200 from S Swan. Here we see the accounts of S1 and P Saxo in the debtors ledger must be debited with the amounts 200 and 300 respectively. If any discount was involved on the receipt of the checks, the discount must be cancelled via the general journal. The accounts of S1 and P Saxo would be debited and the discount allowed would be credited. Here we see 200 Rand for S1. This is an RD check. A RD check, return to draw check, means that it was insufficient funds for S1, which is our debtor. So S1 is our debtor and he paid us 200 Rand previously in the last month via check. So this 200 Rand increased our bank statement account last month, but this month we picked up that S1 has now, this check from S1 has bounced and he has insufficient funds. What that means is that this 200 Rand, previously it increased our bank account, but now it has decreased it, so therefore it belongs in the CPJ, because the cash payments journal decreases our bank account in the bank ledger and in our bank ledger. So that was picked up to be on the date 14th. So we tick off the S1 unpaid for 200 Rand because this is also reflecting in the bank statement for July. So we have, it corresponds to our CPJ, and since it reflects in our CPJ, we tick that off as well. Here we see document number 17. We paid for wages 450 Rand, and we find check number 17 for 450 Rand. We have to tick that off as well. The amounts, the last three amounts, 300, 500 and 43, are the amounts that we have now got to add in to the CPJ from the bank statement. So let's have a look at the bank statement and check that against on the debit side, since we're working on the debit side, and check if any of these amounts here will fall or reflect the bank reconciliation statement for June. If you can imagine, 350 Rand is not ticked, and let's have a look and see if this 350 Rand, here we see check number 13 dated 30th of